I know in the book it talks about, by the way, my name's Terry Elliott, and I'm your instructor. And we're beginning um, to look at reading a poem with the end goal of explicating it. Explicating means, in the original French, a form of unfolding the poem. So we're not dissecting it to death, we're unfolding it. In fact, when you talk about stanzas, that's the original Latin for a room. So you might think of reading a poem as walking through the rooms in the poem, inhabiting it, and putting off for the moment that good old left brain desire to paraphrase. So I know that's the first thing I ask you to do, but I would like you to listen to this poem that I'm going to read and kind of dwell in it, just like I'm going to. I may stop every once in a while to note something, but basically that's what I'm going to do is read it. The Girl in the Doorway by Dorianne Lowe. She is 12 now. The door to her room closed, telephone cord trailing the hallway in tight curls. I stand at the dryer, listening through the thin wall between us, her voice rising and falling as she describes her new life. Static flies and brief blue stars from her socks, her hairbrush in the morning. Her silver braces shine inside the velvet case of her mouth. Her grades rise and fall. Her friends call or they don't. Her dogs choose her new shoes to a canvas pulp. Some days she opens her door and musk rises from the long crease in her bed, fills the dim hall. She grabs a denim coat and drags the floor. Dust swirls in golden eddies behind her. She walks through the house, a goddess. Each window pulsing with summer outside, the boys wait for her teeth to straighten. They have a vibrant patience. When she steps onto the front porch, sun shimmies through the tips of her hair. The V of her legs fans out like wings under her arms as she raises them and waves. Goodbye, goodbye. Then she turns to go, folds up all that light in her arms like a blanket, and takes it with her. You know, the beauty of a poem like this is it just is so accepting of the reader. It accepts you. You don't have to worry about making friends with it. It's already your friend, and it assumes you're in on the joke. And who's telling the joke? It's a story. It's got some funny stuff in it, like you'll notice the tight curls here. You know, that's the tight curl of the telephone cord and of the girl. You see standing at the dryer, who's the I there? Of course, is the mother. Listening through the thin wall between us, her voice rising and falling. You know, and the rising and falling, you hear the rhythm of that rising and falling, rise and fall. There's a lot of that in there, rise and fall, kind of a steady rhythm. Maybe a heartbeat. You know, the thin wall between us, you know, that means more than just a thin wall. That's the thin wall between every person in the world. His family is even thinner. You know, the use of the word static down here, static flies, you know, static. You're talking about the phone up here. It used to be, you know, that was a serious problem in most phones. Still is with a lot of cell phones. You get the sense of static and the lack of communication that implies. Her silver braces inside the velvet case of her mouth. You know, you put valuable things inside of velvet. You know, so comparing her mouth to a case that houses expensive braces is just brilliant. You know, she's talking about how she's growing up. The coat swirls up, golden eddies behind her, just to describe the light. The notice of The image of her as a goddess, you know, you know, you move from goddess to princess, from princess to goddess rather, and it's you look at all the objects that are in here: phone in the room, door closed, socks, hairbrush, braces, grades going up and down, erratic friends, a dog, new shoes, and ruins. They're just so carefully chosen. Indeed, even the boys at the end are very carefully chosen to represent who she is, her adolescence. Um, you know, it's a denim coat at one moment, and then the next she puts it on and she becomes an angel. Um, it's in the way the whole poem pulses and moves, and is a symbol of vibrance. And everything that the poet does is an attempt to make you feel that. Um, there's so much color and light: gold, blue, silver, um, sunlight everywhere, velvet, musk, smells. So it's full of perceptions. And you can smell it, taste it, feel it. And that's what a good poem does. And when you read a poem like this, you need to open up to that. You need to walk in every room. Okay, that's one way to read it. The other way to read it is to go through it step by step. There's any number of ways of reading a poem. But I'd suggest that the first thing you do is to go slow and inhabit each room of the poem. And that's a metaphor, so don't take it literally. But try to get a feel and smell and taste, perceive what everything that the poet is trying to perceive, get you to perceive. Then you can get on with the work of pulling it apart. It can stand it. It's all good poems can take it.